But we start with some big breaking news this morning concerning Liverpool, and their captain, Virgil van Dijk, has signed a new 2-year contract at Anfield. He follows Mo Salah in committing his future to the club after the Egyptian signed a 2-year deal last Friday. Van Dijk scored the winner in Liverpool's 2-1 victory over West Ham on Sunday. They now need just 6 points to win the Premier League title for a second time. It will, of course, be Van Dijk's second Premier League title as well. And this is big, big news for the fans. A 2-year contract until 2027 will take him to 35 years old. It's the same length as Mo Salah, and 2 of the big 3 have now signed new contracts. All eyes on Trent Alexander-Arnold. We've heard from Virgil van Dijk as well. He said this: "I'm very happy, very proud." This is what he told LiverpoolFC.com. "There are so many emotions, obviously, that go through my head right now speaking about it. It's a proud feeling. It's a feeling of joy. It's just incredible. The journey I've had so far in my career, to be able to extend it with another 2 years at this club is amazing. And I'm so happy." He's added, "It was always Liverpool. That was the case. It was always in my head. It was always the plan. And it was always Liverpool. There wasn't any doubt in my head that this is the place to be for me and my family. I'm one of Liverpool. Someone called me the other day an adopted Scouser. I'm really proud to hear these things. It gives me great feeling." Van Dijk, of course, moved to Liverpool from Southampton in January 2018, and he quickly set about establishing himself as one of the finest defenders in world football. His defensive prowess has been fundamental in helping the Reds win 7 major honours, including the Premier League, of course, once, possibly twice now, and he has been a big, big part of that as the captain. Right, let's get a bit of reaction to that now with Dougie Critchley. Big, big news for Liverpool. How important is this one?
I think absolutely massive. I mean, there had been some doubts about Van Dijk. I think doubts about all 3 players. And he was spotted talking in the tunnel with Nasser Al-Khelaifi, the PSG owner, and there was speculation abounding, although there was then rumours that he was never really considering leaving as well. But this is absolutely massive news for Liverpool. A 2-year deal, the same length that they've given to Mo Salah. I think that's incredibly sensible. He had a few injury issues on the back of that ACL injury. It took him a while to regain his very best form. But over the last 2 seasons, he's been absolutely imperious and only missed 2 games with injury in that time as well, which suggests that if his minutes are effectively managed over the next 2 years, then I think he can go on and still be a massive, massive difference maker for this Liverpool side. I think people might have some debates about where he stands in terms of Premier League greatest ever centre-backs. Rio Ferdinand often enters those discussions, so does John Terry, and so does Van Dijk. Wherever you have your top 3, he's firmly in there. Been so important ever since joining Liverpool back in January 2018. And it just would have cost so much money to replace him this summer, in a season and a summer where they are potentially looking at signing a new left-back, you'd have thought, maybe looking at a new striker as well. Liverpool, with Ibrahima Konate only having 1 year remaining on his contract, with Joe Gomez and Gerald Kwanzaa's futures uncertain as well, Liverpool and Arne Slot simply did not want to have to consider replacing Van Dijk, their captain too.
Salah obviously was a massively important deal as well. But do you think a lot of Liverpool supporters will consider tying Van Dijk down as the key move, really, because of the position he plays and how crucial he is to the whole Liverpool 11?
Yeah, absolutely massive. I mean, such different levels of impact. I think Liverpool's forwards, some of them have struggled in recent weeks. Nunez, Jota, Diaz, etc. Salah, 50 goals and assists in all competitions this year, over 30 goals. That would have cost a lot of money to replace as well. You look at the players that they'd be looking to potentially bring in to replace Salah, if they had their dream, the likes of Saka, Dembele, Yamal, Elise, those really top-level right wingers, they're not available or would just cost far too much money this summer as well. So Salah would have been expensive to replace. But Van Dijk, you're looking at having to spend, 80, 90, 100 million pounds? And Liverpool, with the futures of Endo uncertain in midfield, with Harvey Elliott's future a little bit uncertain, maybe they'll be looking at a midfielder, a left-back, a striker. So Van Dijk, tying him down, I think, is the correct decision. And 2 years is the right length of contract as well, I would suggest.
And I guess the only concern would have been age with both him and Salah, right? I mean, he's a year older than Salah. He's 33. He'll be 35 at the end of his contract. But do you think, like Salah, there are similarities in terms of the shape that he's in? We always hear about how fit Mo Salah is, but Virgil van Dijk doesn't seem to have dropped off at all in terms of his standards.
Absolutely not. I think he's better than he's been previously 4 years ago, maybe, when he was recovering from that ACL injury. And as I said, just 2 games missed with injury in the last 2 seasons. He has been absolutely vital. And his sort of solidity in that position has really helped Ibrahima Konaté emerge as a really, really talented all-round centre-back. Didn't have a great game recently, but you've got to look at Van Dijk as the leader in that dressing room, the sort of aura that he carries in the Premier League. And in a summer where we are losing Kevin De Bruyne, potentially losing Trent Alexander-Arnold, for Van Dijk to walk away from the Premier League would have had a big impact on the sort of very, very top-level quality we've got in the Premier League as well. So I don't think it's just Liverpool fans that should be delighted. I think more neutral perspectives, Arsenal fans probably won't be celebrating, but more neutrals will probably be enjoying watching Van Dijk for another couple of years.
So what about Trent Alexander-Arnold then? He is the one left of the big 3. The other 2 have signed. The general consensus is that he will be going to Real Madrid, but it's not confirmed yet. Is there any way, do you think, that with those 2 signing, that he might be convinced to sign as well?
I'd be surprised. I'd be surprised, given the rumours and reports we're hearing for a number of months now. And Real Madrid have such a need for Trent Alexander-Arnold, with Dani Carvajal having missed 50 games with injury this year, often having to play Fede Valverde at right-back, weakening their midfield. There is a Trent Alexander-Arnold-shaped hole. But I think given the fact that Van Dijk and Salah feel even more important to Liverpool, I think most Liverpool fans will be delighted to have tied down their top goal scorer, their most consistent performer over the last 7-8 years, and their club captain, despite the fact that Trent has more sell-on value. So if he was to sign a new deal, they could have made a profit from him in a couple of years. Van Dijk and Salah will likely leave for free at their end of their deals, but you still think it's more worthwhile signing Van Dijk and Salah, given their importance to the side and how much it would cost to replace them this summer.
Konaté, Kelleher and Robertson, their deals all are up at the end of next season. Surely Liverpool cannot allow this situation to happen again.
Yeah, I think lessons have to be learned. They've had a number of different sporting directors in charge in the last 3-4 years, and it seems to have impacted their feasibility and ability to sign Van Dijk and Salah to new deals. I think they've also got to consider, obviously, the age of both those players, the financial implications of extending their deals. But you look at those players in particular that are out of contract. Kelleher, Mamardashvili arrives this summer from Valencia after spending this year, having signed last summer, but this year in Valencia. Robertson, I think they will look to replace in the next 2 years, if I have to say as well. So those ones don't feel nearly as important, but lessons have to be learned going forward for Alexis McAllister's contract, Ryan Gravenberch, whose agent was talking about Real Madrid in recent weeks as well, which must have made Liverpool fans incredibly nervous given everything that's going on with Trent Alexander-Arnold. But lessons have to be learned, but I think they've done the right thing with 2 years for each of their top performers.